Good evening, sir. I am Dr. Jonathan Reed. Do you need my help?
Yes, please. Would you be kind enough to tell me what the time is? Well, is it not important to know?
I suppose you're right. And who?
I am Agamemnon Baker. Like my brother, I think we need to leave this city immediately. And my brother and I rarely agree on anything.
May I ask what you're doing outside?
I don't know. You should ask my brother instead.
You must have your own ideas.
From what I have managed to understand, I guess we're supposed to wait.
May I ask why you've not gone already, if you're so exasperated by this long wait?
I believe fear is holding us back. My brother would have said it's laziness, but it's just because he's prouder than I am.
What can you tell me about this part of town?
It's the only place I've considered myself happy. Or at least that's what I believe. Unfortunately, it's time to leave.
Why is that?
Because I'm not feeling happy here anymore. Are you?
I still enjoy living in London, no matter how...
Then I am sincerely happy for you. True happiness in life seems to be the most difficult goal to...
What can you tell me about your brother? Is that all?
Pericles is very attached to this city, and without my insistence, he would never leave this place. We don't often agree on anything, you see.
Who are you waiting for, exactly?
The more I think about it, the more I believe it's not exactly a person we are waiting for.
But what else could it be, then?
I don't know. A feeling?
I'm afraid I'm not following you.
Have you ever felt like life trapped you in a role?
Trap? And you think leaving London will...
At least it will give us the chance to be free. That's more than our present situation. Hope, Doctor. Hope is what truly drives mankind.
What can you tell me about Aloisius?
You should ask that question to my brother instead.
Goodbye. Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed? Dr. Reed?
Is there anything wrong?
No, it's just... Your name sounds familiar. And your face. Have we met before?
I think I would remember. So I suppose the answer is no.
That's odd. I'm certain I've...
I'm afraid not, sir. But
The pleasure is mine, I guess. I only wish I could remember when it was that we met.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Baker.
We are waiting.
And why are you waiting for this person?
Because we need to leave this city. As soon as...
Why do you want to leave the city?
I'm not really sure.
Can you tell me anything?
As you like asking questions so much, would you allow me to ask you one first?
Please, be my guest.
Do you like this city?
I know we are not living in the most peaceful of times, but I have learned to appreciate London's complexity.
Yes, me too. This city tests us. It invites us to find ourselves, to discover our true nature scattered throughout its dark streets.
But what if we don't like what we find?
Do we ever know who we are? I wonder sometimes. Or maybe it is the journey to find out.
And what do you do, sir? For a living, that is.
I stopped working when I decided to leave. When I realized what I wanted. Wanted something.
But what were you doing before?
Does it really matter anymore? Considering the past seems so pointless to me. I have lived in this city all my life. And now I think...
Tell me more about why you want to leave London.
I just don't belong here anymore. I had to convince my brother to leave London because I know...
Pericles, tell me why your brother disagrees with your presence here.
Agamemnon is naive sometimes.
At least you both have the same difficulty
But is that not a common problem for all?
What can you tell me about your brother?
If you are searching for a pleasant chat, you should speak...
That's it? That's all you...
For the time being. True kindness...
What can you tell me about Aloisius Dawson? Goodbye, Mr.
Good evening, sir. May I ask you what you're doing here at this late hour?
I'm conducting an investigation about the epidemic in this part of town.
And who are you, sir?
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. May I ask who you are and why all the questions?
I'm Detective Inspector Charles Albright from Scotland Yard. And I don't find your answers convincing. What is a Pembroke doctor doing in the West End at this time of night?
I'm here on my own, sir. I have no official appointment other than my desire to save lives.
Then we have the same objective, sir. The difference is, to catch my suspects, I use a magnifying glass and handcuffs instead of a microscope.
What can you tell me about this district?
I'm the one asking questions, especially when there's a killer.
What killer?
I'm not going to discuss that with the civilians.
Haven't I told you about the investigation I'm conducting? Perhaps I could help you.
All right, without giving you too much information.
And what about the epidemic?
We both know the situation is critical, don't we, Doctor? Colleagues of mine die almost every...
What are you really doing here?
I told you. I'm a detective inspector from Scotland Yard, investigating suspicious cases in the area.
Do you work alone?
Yes, the situation is difficult for the police. Many of us are sick, and since the summer strike, most men apply a work-to rule on their patrols.
What about the situation in the East End? Why are there no police there to protect the civilians?
I know, it's a shame, but we just don't have enough men to cover the entire city.
Why are you investigating a...
Criminals rarely act in daylight, you know. But since you are also a night worker, have you noticed anything strange?
Does the name Fergal ring a bell? Fergal Bancher.
Of course it does. Fergal Bancher, the Butcher of Galway. Hung in Dublin in 1857 for murdering more than 20 men with his bare hands. Why are you...
What does the...
Of course.
What are you investigating?
I have a missing woman, possibly abducted a few nights ago. Louise...
Tell me about Louise.
She's a waitress. Her father reported...
Do you have any idea where she could...
No. But I feel she's been abducted.
Tell me all you know about that homicidal maniac you're looking for.
I'm not even sure there is only one. The wounds are always the same, but the modus operandi varies. Sometimes violent and brutal, sometimes precise and swift.
How could different killers inflict the same wounds?
That's my main problem. If my theory is correct, maybe we're facing a group of individuals sharing the same violent tendencies. Perhaps a sadist.
What are you...
I have...
Tell...
She's a...
Do you...
No.
Do you know anything in particular about a man?
Who doesn't know the man?
What else can you tell me about him?
Aloisius Dawson is exactly the kind of powerful and influential man who could commit murder and get away with it. With just one...
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Jonathan.
I cannot enter. Good evening, Miss Price.
Dr. Reed, I didn't know you had returned from...
Always glad to see a former patient in good condition. It's been a long time.
Too long indeed. And as a token of my appreciation, I'll grant you the best price if you fancy buying.
What can you tell me about yourself?
I'm still managing my shop. The only difference is, since the quarantine, we're open at night.
Really? Have I changed?
Don't get me wrong, Dr. Reed, you're still handsome.
Tell me more about yourself. No new fiancé?
Who would marry an old bat like myself with a grown...
Have you noticed anything in...
Other than you coming back to cheer me up?
Does your daughter still worry you, Miss Price? I remember you were often concerned about her health,
Have you not seen Carol since you returned?
so you're less afraid.
Some things never change. Carol is still too clumsy.
You have every reason to be cautious, Miss Price, especially in these difficult times.
Maybe you could talk with her, Dr. Reed. It would be nice to have a man here more often. We would both feel safe.
Why would her innocence put her in danger?
She does not realize how cruel life can be. Maybe
May I...
it's always a pleasure. I hope you can stay a little longer this time.
It's locked, all right.
I'd step back, sir. give us strength.
Dawson's mansion. Here I am at last. But the question remains, am I ready to make a dying man my progeny? It's locked, all right.
Finally, you're here, Dr. Reed. What took you so long?
I had to pass several of your barricades and outposts to access your mansion, sir.
Death, pestilence surround us, and time is against me.
I see you've gathered some of the most expensive, albeit experimental, blood transfusion equipment available. All this could be so useful in a hospital.
Yes, yes. Since Lord Redgrave sent me a doctor to perform my conversion, I thought you might find some of these devices useful.
Most thoughtful. But tonight I'm not here as a physician.
But I feel reassured that a specialist such as yourself would help me to escape the Reaper.
Very well. But before I proceed, I have a few questions for you.
If you must, but be quick, for I don't have much time left in this life.
First of all, I need to be sure that you know exactly what is going to happen to you, sir.
I can assure you I'm as informed as any man can be. I have planned for this moment, Dr. Reed. Planned very carefully.
Sir, I'm going to end your life. Do you not wish to discuss the procedure for even a minute?
I don't have a minute to indulge in idle chatter. I can't feel my legs. And the cold, so cold.
I will become your maker. Do you understand what that means?
Well, I certainly won't consider you my liege, or some such drivel. You can be assured of that.
You'll need to feed on warm blood. Blood from mortals. How do you feel about that?
I'm rich, Dr. Reed, and powerful. I'm sure I'll be able to acquire all the blood I need without ever having to sully my own hands.
What do you know about...
What I do know is that I'll crush anyone or anything that would dare to oppose me.
Let's move on then.
Please, I'm cold and tired. I feel my life waning with every moment.
But first, before you embrace immortality, what would you do with such a gift?
That's a rather impertinent question, Dr. Reed. And I will do as I please.
Answer me all the same. What will your first action be as an immortal?
To save London, I will finance the most efficient quarantine ever seen. I will build a wall that will separate the sick boroughs from the healthy ones.
Who gave you the right to decide the fate of thousands of people?
My money. My money and my...
You really plan to build a quarantine wall?
Yes, it will be tall and strong, separating...
By doing so, you will...
Come, sir. An eminent doctor like yourself knows that such radical measures have proved efficient in the past.
Let me guess. You mean to isolate the rich from the poor?
This is a desperate measure for desperate times. England must prevail, Doctor, no matter...
Quarantine is not a bad idea, medically speaking. But I'm convinced this epidemic will not be contained by mere walls.
As long as the right people are on the right side of the wall, that's all that matters.
But you can't guarantee infection will not spread. Just one contagious carrier would be enough to create an apocalypse.
The apocalypse is already knocking at...
What if a new outbreak happens inside your walls? You'll have created a giant trap.
That won't happen. As long as we dispose of anyone that is contaminated, as soon as they are...
I've heard enough. It's time to proceed.
At last. All right, do what you have to do. If it hurts, so be it. I've been preparing such a long time for this.
You don't deserve immortality, Mr. Dawson.
What? What are you prattling on about?
I don't believe I've ever met a man so bereft of empathy. You, sir, are despicable.
No! Wait! You can't! I made a deal with Lord Redgrave. I'll finance whatever he wants. Please, just ask him.
Sleep now. Rest now. Forever.
I would have lived forever. Who are you to decide my fate? Who gave you the authority?
Is it done, Dr. Reed? Is Aloisius Dawson reborn as expected?
Alas, Aloisius Dawson was not brought back to life after his death. The man is gone.
What? What happened?
I could not let such a dangerous man become immortal. Not from my blood, not for you.
This is an outrage beyond words. This is betrayal, pure and simple. I should kill you on the spot. You swore on William Marshall's blood.
Well, get rid of me then.
From now on, you're an outcast. Banished.
I'll leave you then. Have fun with your puppets and shadow plays, Lord Redgrave.
Yes, go, traitor. And take that awful creature, that counterfeit of a woman I saw waiting for you, and be gone!
We meet again at the strangest of times, young Ekon. So do you serve the Earl of Bristol now?
Old Bridget. What are you doing here?
Your friend, the wise Ekon. She sent...
Did anyone see you? It's a long way from the dock sewers, and hunters are patrolling the streets here. Did any...
Who said I took the streets? How do you think I survived for centuries in this city without ever being seen?
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
She came to us in the sewers in search of answers.
What kind of...
I knew nothing of your maker, but we talked. We talked.
Lady Ashbury in the sewers?
She said she was your friend, and that she sought the identity of your maker. So I answered her.
Lady Ashbury? You know her?
The lady approached me but a few nights ago, wanting to meet the sewers.
Harriet Jones is still with you then?
Harriet remains angry, but is recovering slowly. Her mind is twisted, but at least her...
Tell me what is going on.
The lady asked us to keep an eye on your mortal doctor friend while you were away. We spotted the hunters. They were discussing plans to attack tonight.
Wait, slow down. I need to ask you something.
I'm listening, but I do not have time to...
Where is Lady Ashbury right now?
She said she will go home. She needed to speak with some old friends first, though. Do not worry, young Ekon. She is no fool, and just as strong as you.
How did Elizabeth...
She presented herself humbly at our gate, and asked if we knew of any ancestral vampires hiding in London. She asked about...
What do you think?
Her soul is good, yet tainted.
Why did she come to you?
I am old Bridget, the buried memory of the city. She sought the silent truths. Truths I have kept hidden for so long.
Why do I feel like Lord Redgrave was particularly irritated to see you? Far more so than the average...
Because I used to know him quite well.
You're Elizabeth's informant. You're the one who told her about Lord Redgrave's lies regarding his lineage.
Yes, but my words were not meant to hurt or threaten. I simply told the story of the sewer skulls, and of...
No time to lose, then.
I shall return to my den. Have you a message for the lady? Should I see her before you?
Yes. Tell her I love her.
Is this still unknown to her? Go now and take care, young Ekon, for the flames are...